Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I hope you had a good time over the festive period, whatever you did, whether you wanted to be by yourself or whether you were with family or whether you didn't celebrate at all. I hope you've had a peaceful and good time. I have been astounded and pleasantly surprised to discover on coming back after my 2-week hiatus that I now have over 100 subscribers. Thank you, every one of you. I'm blown away. I'm presuming that you're subscribed because you liked what you see and you wanted to know when I posted more things. So thank you. Really, it's really touched me. I started this off in Dephemerember and I've really enjoyed making the videos because it's made me think more clearly about what I'm doing with my art in general, as well as my journaling through Dephemerember. So thank you for being with me, and I will be continuing to post things even though Dephemerember is now finished. Speaking of which, these last 4 prompts, I was quite glad I could take a time out because these last 4 are not my favourites by a long way. Friendship Bracelet, Forgotten Stacks, Spaghetti Box Window, Me and My Crush. Well, we're on Friendship Bracelet. We'll get round to the others later. And I decided for Friendship Bracelet, I was going to cover the back of this. This has got a wee bit so that my vintage meets modern still works. The other side of that brand. Going to cover the back of my paper with one of these maps. I haven't decided which one yet. A world map, because I decided Friendship Bracelet and Dephemerember was a worldwide thing. I mean, I've been watching, which I haven't even really been watching much YouTube channels either, but I've started watching YouTube channels from all over the world. Started making connections with people from all over the world. So I thought, well, maybe calling some of them friends is pushing it a bit this early on in the relationships, and you know, just kind of, I love what you're doing. I did feel it was a map of the world was a good thing to be using at this stage, and these two, of course, have become friends in my journal. We've got Effie and we've got this little fairy. So I thought what I would do is I would back my page with this. I'd use these bottle tops that you then put a wee acrylic dot over. So put faces in them, and these would be 2 ends of a bracelet. I haven't really thought the bracelet through yet, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start by punching out. I need my 1-inch punch. Punching out, seeing if this Effie is going to be just about, there we go. And we're going to start, actually, I think that Effie's maybe a bit too, I think he's a wee bit too big. I'm going to see if I've got a smaller Effie. So I'm going to punch them out, stick them in, put the bracelet and stick this on, and then I'll be back. Okay, so got this far. I put on this map because it was big enough, and because I think it's just a better background. It's slightly distorted, so I think it's a better background. It's also, clearly this map comes from a time when they hadn't discovered this part of the world. There's no New Zealand. There's only a little bit of something funny going on here. Well, this is very bizarre because this looks like it's supposed to be Britain, but it's also the South Pole because there's South Africa, so it's very bizarre. So this map, it did have French flags across the top, so it's probably about where the French had discovered at a particular moment in time. So I decided that was a better background. And then I also cut the other one out. Just, this is slightly better, but you can still see that we've only got part of Australia here, and it's obviously still doing discovering the world, but I thought we maybe stick this on, and this could be flipped open. I need to decide, I need to do two things. I need to put a strip across here just to strengthen this hinge, otherwise it'll end up tearing. I need to decide what I'm going to put on this side of it, but that's kind of like a flip out, because I think I'm just going to stick that down. I did think about maybe putting it in, but I think I'm just going to stick it down. I've put both of these two in bottle caps, and I decided to colour in round about them in gold, kind of making them a bit like an icon, I suppose, but I just didn't like the background that could be seen. You can see I found a smaller one of this. I also, if you aren't aware, let's see if I can do this at an angle you can see it. Probably can't. Let's see there. Can you see that? If I move my... With a brad, you can actually, with a bradle, you can actually poke a hole through these bottle caps because it's really quite soft metal. Just be very careful, but you can poke a hole in. So that's for threading my friendship bracelet together, and I thought maybe I'd put one down there and one up there, and they'd be threaded together, and maybe the threading together will be a belly band. Oh, and then this could go underneath it, in which case I need to do something on both the front and the back of this. Right, so I think the first thing I need to do though is to put something, and a bit of ribbon or something would be the best thing, just to give that a bit of strength, or a bit of fabric. I'm sure I've got a little bit of fabric somewhere. I've always got little scraps of fabric somewhere. Of course, finding little scraps of fabric when you actually want little scraps of fabric is very different from having, let me just get a bit of this off. Very different from actually, seeing the trouble is, of course, I'm going to have to tear a bit. So, oh no, there we go. So thin, there we go. That'll do the trick, lovely. Let's put this on. Let's just put this on here first. We'll stick that on. And that will just give a bit of strength to that. It'll be covered up by something else, but I don't know what, although that's me now committed to covering it up. Well, has it committed me to covering up? Maybe not. Yes, probably has. And then I'm going to have to cut down the circles again. I should have cut, well, never mind, Kirsten. Right, so that gives that a time to dry as I consider what I might do next. I think I want to have a thought about how I'm going to join these together. Now, I could make a friendship bracelet, but I'm not inclined to. I've just seen something over here. I have stars. I'm wondering if that's long enough to, not quite. Not quite. Okay, we'll put them back. That's not quite long enough. Could use I mean, I could make a friendship bracelet, but I'm not inclined to at this moment in time. So how do I do the friendship? Well, we've got the friendship. It's the bracelet part that I'm struggling with at the moment. So what I'm going to do while I continue to ponder that is back this. Now I need to back this in something that makes sense for a start. Or do I? This is very bright. We could back this just with some of my, I've got these wet strength. I'm sure I used them somewhere else as well, didn't I? Oh, I used them when I was doing my door. I could back this with these, but it's not very, it's matte photo paper, so it might warp. So because of the amount of glue I'd need to stick that down, so maybe I won't use that. Maybe I should use the rest of this bit of fabric. I've got a bit of that. No, I've got a bit of, that's a different one. What have I got? This is just the leftover fabrics I've got on my desk at the moment. I could use a kind of plain bit at the back. Oh, I could use, oh, there's one that, there's a bit of that that hasn't been dyed. So I could use one that has been dyed and one that hasn't been dyed, but that doesn't quite fit. I was thinking that that would represent land and sea. What else have we got here? I mean, I have got more fabrics elsewhere, but this is the, ooh. Now this is a bit of fabric I made myself for a journal. Oh, now this probably is all going to end up being cut. Oh, I've got a bit of my fabric from when I did recycled fairy. I could put that on the back of that, couldn't I? That might be quite good. Maybe not. Maybe not. I need to think, do I just go quite plain? I could do that on one side. Or do I do that for the sea? Do I do land and sea? Let's do land and sea like that. Let's do that. Let's do that. That says pocket, which kind of then says to me I need to make it into a pocket. But how do I make that into a pocket? I maybe need to, it says I'm a pocket, doesn't it? I've never noticed that that had a pocket on it before now. There's all kinds of words on this bit of fabric, but I've never noticed pocket on it beforehand. But if I make this into a pocket, I then need another bit. I need to save that for making it into pocket, won't I? I'm a bit stuck. Can you tell? Let's return to that later and go back to this, because I've just had a wee thought about this. And what I'm thinking is, if I use some of this wire, this is just yeah, it says copper wire, but the copper fades off it after a time. If we put one end in, can I find the hole that I made? There we go. One end in there. Bring it up and twist it around. Right, and we need probably about that kind of length. You can use ordinary scissors to cut this. It's thin enough and soft enough. You do get very mucky with it though. Let's get out my bead box. And let's use some sorry, I forgot to put the video back on. I thought I had. I turned it off when I was doing the bracelet, because I thought you don't really want to watch me doing this. This is boring. So I turned that off, and I thought I switched it back on, and I hadn't. And it's now, I used the colours of the silver, the red and the green, because it was the 25th of December was this prompt. And so this is now finished. This is now attached, and it goes in through the top because I'd already made the hole at the top, thinking that it was going to be at either end, and it is at either end, but of course it would have been better if it had been the bottom for that end, but never mind, which means it's a wee bit loose, but I'm okay with that. This, I finally decided to use this bit of Tim Holtz fabric. I then sewed on some, just round about, put on the north and south pole, and on the inside I've added a wee pocket, and there's a wee envelope, and in that wee envelope there's a wee bit of information about Lottie, my swap buddy, which is why I'm not sharing it with you. But I then know where her address is and things. I know it's in that, underneath the friendship bracelet from Dephemerember for the 25th of December, 2023, 2023, we're now in 2024, and I'm still going 19. Dearie me. Anyway, this prompt is now done. 3 more to go. Next 2 are pretty bonkers. Forgotten snacks. Not sure what to do for that. Spaghetti box window. My spaghetti when I buy it, I don't buy it very often, but my spaghetti when I buy it, it's wrapped in paper, so I don't know what a spaghetti box window I'm going to do for that either. And me and my crush, I'm slightly stumped on that one, but we'll get there in the end. For now, thank you for watching. Take care, and remember, keep crafting. Bye for now.